Good morning, students. How are you all? So today we are here to start up our next chapter, that is chapter 4th, and that chapter is definitely related with the working and functioning which is being done by our state government. As India is following the federal type of government, it means the powers are divided between the state government and the central government. So today in this session we are going to understand the role of state government and what are the main working which is being done by the state government. Along with that, we came to know about the federal system, the state legislature, the process of making law, the state executive and the role of the state government. So as we know that we are living in a country that is India. So India is following a federal system. No one government is controlling the whole country because India is not a small country. India is a very big country. Lot many peoples are living there. Number of states are there. So it is very much difficult for one government to control the whole country. So that is the reason we have a different level of government that includes the union or the central government, as we all are aware about the central government, and the second representing to the state government, and the third one is representing to the local self government. So definitely India is following the federal system. Federal system means the federal government ensure that the powers are being divided equally. The powers are divided between the central government and the state government. Okay, power sharing is their main important function which is being pursued in a country. So moving further, you came to know about that in constitution as well the different types of government is acceptable there. The union government unite all the state government, but they remains independent in their internal affair. So okay, here name any one other country that has using the federalism. The Australia is there. Along with the Australia, Canada is there. And if I talk about beside the Canada, definitely the Brazil is also following the federal system. United States of America is also following the federal system. So there are lot many countries which are following this federal system. So definitely India is also following this system. So before that, just look at the extract. So similarly, you have to read down the extract, and after reading the extract, you have to answer the question that is given below. So first question, which system was considered by the national leader of our country? Mahatma Gandhi was in favor of the panchayat and village based federation. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru were in favor of unitary state, while Home Minister Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and many others stood for the cause of federalism. And the second question, representing what did the use of the term union indicates? So definitely the use of the term union indicates that Indian federalism did not came into existence due to some mutual agreement among the constituent unit. Okay, so moving further, now we are going to understand the functioning that is going on in our country. So as we discussed earlier, that Constitution 2 accepted the structure that is being used, or we can able to say the Constitution 2 accepted the structure of federal government. The Constitution of India defines the structures, powers and function of the state government, as we are going to discuss down in this chapter about the state government. So here we are going to understand the different structure, powers and functions that is being followed by the state government. So moving further, the state government definitely is formed by the party that wins more than half of seats in the state election, and that is known as a simple majority system. We all are aware in democracy as well, we discussed down the election procedure is going on, and some elections are there for the central government and some are for the state government. So definitely the state government formed when a party win more than half of the seats in the state election. After that, a particular party win the election and the representative came into the power. So definitely the powers of the state government are further divided into three types, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. Executive powers are mainly controlled by the governor, chief minister and the council of minister, and the governor is considered as a nominal head of the state. If I talk about the country, so who is considered as a head of the whole country or first citizen of the country, that is definitely president. But now we are just talking about the state. So the governor is a nominal head of the state or the real power. But if I talk about the real power lies in the chief minister and the council of minister. The government is definitely above the chief minister, but the whole functioning which is being done by in the state is definitely by the chief minister along with the different council of minister. And if I talk about the judicial system, judicial representing to the court system, it is mainly with the judiciary. Judicial word came from the judiciary. Judicial system definitely from the Supreme Court of India at a national level and High Court of India at a state level and the union territory level. We all are aware now that highest court is considered as a Supreme Court, and after that the High Court is there, which is considered as an highest court of the state. Moving further, there is a diagrammatic presentation given that is related with the state legislature. So definitely in the state legislature, as you remember, we had discussed down about Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. That is not a state legislature, that is representing to the houses of parliament, because parliament is considered on the country basis of whole country. Now we are only talking about a particular state, like we are living in the Punjab, so I am talking about Punjab or a particular state, that might be Haryana, that might be Rajasthan, just a particular state. Okay, so the definitely how is the system going on, you just check out from this table. The state legislature is further divided into two parts, the legislative assembly and the legislative council. Legislative assembly consists of the members or such as MLAs, okay, and if I talk about the legislative council, that consists members that is known as MLCs. So in the legislative assembly, if I talk about maximum, there are 500 members and the member must not be less than 60 members. Okay, 60 members are mandatory to be there in the legislative assembly, and if the maximum number of members which are present in the legislative assembly are of definitely 500. And if I talk about legislative council, members is definitely 1/3 of the legislative size. The time period for legislative assembly is 5 years, and if I talk about the legislative council, the 6th year is the time period, and 1/3 of its member retire every 2 years. After 2 years, 1/3 of the members of the legislative council is being retired down, but the time period for the state legislative council is of 6 years. So direct election was there for the legislative assembly. Directly people choose their MLAs, but if I talk about the legislative councils, indirect election was going on there. It is not like the people has a complete authority to choose their representative or choose their election members for the MLCs. Okay, so hope you are completely clear with the diagrammatic presentation. If you left with any kind of doubt, no issue with that, we are going to discuss it in detail as well. So the state legislature performs many functions, and one of that is making a law. The state legislature is performing a function that is making of law. So how to make a law, which law is going to implement on the state is being controlled under the state legislature. And some states are there which are of unicameral and they have only one house, but some states such as Bihar, Jammu, Kashmir, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh are bicameral. Bicameral means two. Bi word is representing to the two. Okay, they have two houses. In the state with the bicameral legislature is definitely the lower house is called legislative assembly. Now students, don't get confused between the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha are the houses of parliament, and definitely now we are discussing only about the state. So in the state, the lower house is called legislative assembly, which we had discussed with the help of table, And if I talk about the upper house, even the legislative assembly, also known as Vidhan Sabha in Hindi. Okay, Vidhan Sabha in Hindi, the legislative assembly. But if I talk about the upper house, that is called the legislative council, that is known as Vidhan Parishad. Okay, is it clear to you? So moving further, now we are going to discuss down about the legislative assembly in detail, that is Vidhan Sabha. How is the functioning of the Vidhan Sabha? Who is eligible to become the member of the Vidhan Sabha? What is the time period for the Vidhan Sabha? How many of the tenure is there? Session? We are going to discuss all such kind of things in detail. Okay, so moving further. So if I talk about the members of the legislative assembly, so as we had already discussed down, it is considered as a lower house of the legislatures, and the members are directly elected by the people from the state constituencies. Okay, so electoral college will be formed down, and further the electoral college participate in the election of the president of the country. So whenever the president of the country is being chosen down, so the members of the legislative assembly definitely participate in that, because that election is not a direct election. People won't able to choose that person, particular person, so these members participate in that much elections. Okay, so moving further, some of the members are there in the Rajya Sabha and 1/3 members are there in the legislative council there. Okay, so moving further, now we are going to understand about the numbers that are present in the legislative assembly, number of members. So according to the Constitution of India, as we had already discussed down, it must not be exceed down from 500. Maximum member must be of 500 and minimum it must be of 60. No other, if you have a less than 60 members in the legislative assembly, you are not able to pursue it furthermore. Okay, so it can be possible that it is dissolved. Dissolved matlab khatam kar diya jaye usse. So it might possible if there are less than 60 members, the state legislature might be dissolved down. Okay, so it is requirement or it is very much mandatory that there are 60 members in the state legislative. Okay, or we can able to say a legislative assembly. So moving further, there are some state as well which has little bit acceptations. Why they have little bit acceptations? Because these states are considered as a smaller one. So those states are considered as Goa, Mizoram, Sikkim and Nagaland. This is known as an exceptional state because they have a less than 60 members, and that is known as a proportional representation. Proportional representation means some states have less than 60 members and still they are existing, and it is showing that. So moving further, who preside the whole legislative assembly? So definitely who preside, the presiding officer of the legislative assembly is Speaker. Speaker is the one who handles the whole functioning of the legislative assembly. And if there is no speaker, firstly, what is the duty of speaker? The duty of speaker is definitely to carry out all the meetings successfully in a proper and peaceful manner. One person is very much essential to carry out the meetings in a proper manner. If even in your class as well, a debate session is going on, if the teacher is not present there, teacher act as a speaker. If the speaker is not present there, can you stop down your debate in any case? No, you will start continuing it till it became the shape of fight. So speaker is the one who handle the whole functioning, who handle the meetings and the debate in a very peaceful manner or in a very good manner. So moving further, if there is no speaker or in the absence of speaker, we have a deputy speaker who presides over the assembly. If the speaker is not there, in the absence of speaker only, okay. If the speaker is there, then no deputy speaker is very much essential there, because speaker is there to handle each and everything. But if in any case we can able to say the speaker is not present there, then only the deputy speaker handle the whole functioning of the legislative assembly. So if I talk about the time period or the term, definitely 5 years definitely time period for the state legislative assembly, and if there is any kind of emergency or any kind of requirement, then the parliament must be extended down. Okay, if the governor find the legislative assembly is not required or not working properly, the governor has the complete authority to dissolve it. Okay, dissolve, it means to destroy it or to end up it. So if I talk about the session, how's the session going on? Session means a little bit of meeting. Session is related with the meeting. Meeting process goes on in the state legislative assemblies. So the state legislative assembly, it is very much essential that they have 2 sessions in a year. Okay, so those sessions cannot be more than the time period between the both 2 sessions must not exceed 6 months. Okay, at least 1/10 of the members should be present there in the session. Generally in India we have 3 sessions that is considered as a budget session. First we made a budget session, the second one is representing to the monsoon session, and the third one is representing to the winter session. Okay, so the fact file is given here. Uttar Pradesh, being the most populous state, has 404 members in the legislative assembly. And if I talk about Sikkim, being a thinly populated state, मतलब वहाँ पे कम लोग रह रहे हैं, that is the reason that they have only 32 members in the legislative assembly. So these are the questions that you have to answer orally. So just look at once. What are the questions? Who is the nominal head of the state? So definitely governor is considered as a nominal head of the state. We had already discussed down the whole control is in the hand of governor. So moving further, the second question is, on which subject does the state legislature make laws? So the state legislature makes laws definitely on the subject specified in the state list. And third one is, what is the legislative assembly called in Hindi? So the state legislative assembly called in Hindi, definitely the Vidhan Sabha. So moving further, now we are going to understand the qualification of MLA. Which things are very much important to become an MLA? The first and very most thing, he must be the citizen of India. If he want to become an MLA, he must be the citizen of India. If he is not a citizen of India, it is quite difficult for him to get this position. So second one is, the candidate has to contest the assembly election for the states. Definitely assembly is election, he has to contest down. If he does not contest down the election, how he can able to become an MLA? Because in the election procedure, the MLA is being chosen directly by the people now. So moving further, the third one is, he should be a voter in the constituencies of the states. Very true. And another one is, he must not be less than 25 years of age. The age limit for that is 25 years. And always remember, what is the age limit to become an MLA? That is 25 years of age. Okay, so if a candidate is contesting election for as a scheduled caste by on the reservation quota, we can able to say. So if he is contesting that election on reservation quota, whether it is of scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, so make sure that he belongs to that particular category. Only then he is eligible to get from the, or he is eligible to select down himself from this reserved quota. Okay, so moving further, he must not be included in any kind of offense, and no prejudice must be there, a person who wants to be MLA. Moving further, now we are going to understand about the legislative council. We had already discussed down about the legislative assembly. The second one, what we had discussed down in legislative assembly, definitely legislative assembly are the members that called MLAs. Maximum members are 500 members, and that is not less than 60 members. Maximum 500 members will be there, and the member must not be less than 60 members. And the last third one is representing to the 5-year time period is there, and the direct election were there. Further, so what are the main qualifications of MLA? Definitely he must be the citizen of India, he must be of the age 25 years old, and he must not commit any the criminal offense. Okay, so moving further, now we are going to start it down. Next topic, that is legislative council, that is Vidhan Parishad. Okay, so for what we had already discussed down, about the Vidhan Sabha. Now we are going to understand about the Vidhan Parishad. So Vidhan Parishad is definitely considered as an upper house of the legislature, and it is known as a legislative council. So definitely the size of the legislative council is depend on the total strength of the legislative assembly. How much is of the strength that is in the legislative assembly definitely relates with the amount of people or the total number of people that are present in the legislative council. So definitely what happens in this, the total number of legislative council should not be more than 1/3 of the total strength of the legislative assembly. So it should not be less than 40 unless proved by the parliament. So the members which is being there in the legislative council should not more than 1/3 of the total strength that is present in the legislative assembly. Okay, so if here in the brainstorm you can able to understand, if the legislative assembly of the state has 400 members, then how many members should be there in the legislative council? So if the legislative assembly have 400 members, and in legislative council there must be 1/3 members, that is 133 members only. Okay, so this is the pattern which is being followed in the legislative council, and the member must not be less than 60 members. Okay. Moving further, now we are going to understand about the nominated and partially nominated or indirectly elected candidates. A member of the legislative assembly elect 1/3 of the member of the legislative council. Yes, we had already discussed it. And the members of the local body elect another 1/3 of the members of the council. Teachers of the secondary school who have taught for 3 or more years elect 1/12 member. So the teachers have also the authority to elect themselves in the legislative council. The graduates of 3 years standing also elect 1/12 of the members of the council. The remaining 1/6 members of the councils are nominated by the government. These members are chosen for the famous person, various fields like art, literature, science. So a person who has done something very much good in his a particular field, whether it is of arts, whether it is of literature, whether it is of or we can able to say who has a good reputation in his field, or who has done a very much work in his field, he is being chosen by the government and nominated by the government. So इसमें क्या हमने discuss किया, the government choose that particular person, okay, on the basis of his knowledge and on the basis of his experiences. We had already discussed down the brainstorm. Now the next is term period. Time period, how much the time period is there, we had already discussed here. The membership is the 1/3 of the legislative assembly is there, and the time period definitely 6 year, and 1/3 member is retired in every 2 year. हर 2 साल के बाद जितने मेंबर वहाँ पे होते हैं उनके 1/3 members are got retired there. Okay. So moving further, the qualification of the members of the state legislature, both the houses. Now we are talking about both the houses. Definitely the first and foremost qualification that is required to become their member is definitely he must be, or he should be, the citizen of India. And definitely if I talk about the legislative assembly, so the age for that is 25 year, and if I talk about legislative council, the age for that is 30 years. And if I talk about the next one, a sound mind. Sound mind means a mind which is very much active and very much sound and gives a wonderful ideas, that is representing to the sound mind. A sound mind is very much essential. Unsound mind is not acceptable, because that person is not able to think about for the state in a proper manner. That person is not able to take down decision in a proper manner. So sound mind is very much important, and he must not proclaim any kind of crime. He must not indulge in any kind of criminal offenses. Okay, so no case must be pending on him. So he must not be convicted or included in any kind of case. Moving further, now we are going to understand the process of law making, how any law made down at the state level, how the law making is going on at the state level. So definitely, why we make a law? We make law just for the betterment of the people, or just for a smooth and better functioning of the country or a state. As we had already discussed down, we are discussing about the state, so the law making process is also going to be discussed about the state level. Okay, so any law, before it is passed down, it is at the proposal stage, that is known as a bill. So what happened, like I am the member of any of the house, whether it is legislative assembly, whether it is legislative council, so I made a bill because I think that this law is very much essential to be implemented in the state. I made a bill, further the bill is being introduced, then discussed down, then the debate session will be done on that bill, and after that voting will be done on that bill, and it definitely after the consent or after with the consent of the or approval of the governor, the bill became a law. Okay, so definitely there are two types of main bills. The first is representing to the ordinary bill, and the second one is representing the money bill. So ordinary bill, what is included? So definitely the ordinary bills deals with the general administrative issue. So what happen in the ordinary bill, it can be introduced from either both of the houses, whether it is from the state legislative or whether it is from the legislative council or whether from the legislative assembly. It is not mandatory that the state legislative assembly will introduce it or the legislative council will introduce it. So what happened in this, a bill first introduced in the house, and after the discussion or after the debate, a voting session was done on that particular bill, and after the vote is going over, or when a bill passed down with a majority from the legislative assembly, like we had taken down the example that bill started from the legislative assembly, a complete discussion, a debate session, a voting session was done on that particular bill, and further the bill got the majority, and further it is sent to the legislative council. Now the debate and discussion and voting session is going to be held in the legislative council as well. Now the legislative council can keep the ordinary bill with themselves for only 6 months, and if the bill passed down with the majority, then the bill will send to the further it sent to the governor for the state of his approval. Okay, so further the governor when signed down on the bill, then definitely that particular bill became the law, and the governor can also keep it for the consideration of the president. The governor has the right to keep the bill with himself just to discuss that with the president. Okay, so definitely this is the process which is being followed down in the ordinary bill session. But if I talk about the money bill session, how's the money bill is going down, so definitely what happens in that, the money bill can be introduced in the legislative assembly only, and after it is passed from the legislative assembly, it goes to the legislative council for the making and recommendation, for just for recommendation. It is not like the legislative assembly refuse that bill or that bill is not going to be introduced further down. So for the legislative assembly council just accepted the bill for the recommendation, and the legislative council can keep the bill for 14 days only, and after the bill is passed down from both the houses, it is definitely sent to the government for his approval. Okay, so moving further, you can able to see in this diagrammatic presentation, tabular presentation, the process of bill becoming a law. What happens in that, we had already discussed down. A minister or the private member introduce the bill in either houses, whether it is the state legislative assembly or the state legislative council. Okay, So moving further, the bill is discussed and voted upon. Changes and amendment can be made. They can become a part of bill. Any kind of changes, amendment is related with the changes. कुछ हमने add up करना हो, that is related with the amendment. So any kind of amendment or changes which we are doing on the bill is definitely acceptable one. The bill is further sent in the Legislative Council for the state debate and voting. It is either accepted or rejected, and if the bill is accepted down, it is further sent to the governor, and if the governor sign on the bill, it becomes a law. And if governor might suggest changes and send it back to the legislature or reserve it for the consideration of president. If the governor find that something is missing in the bill or to become a law, that it might possible the governor send that back in that house and ask them to reconsider it, or the governor has the authority to keep that bill with him just for the recommendation or the consideration of the president. Okay, after that any of the bill became a law. So moving further, search on surf option is given here, so you have to check out at once. Who present a union budget in the Indian Parliament? Definitely budget, union budget. Budget is directly related with the finance minister. So the finance minister of India present the union budget in the Indian Parliament. So the questions are given here. Let us check it once. In which house can an ordinary bill be introduced? It must be introduced either in the state legislative assembly or in the legislative council. So the answer is definitely it can be, the ordinary bill can be introduced in either house of the state legislature. That is acceptable. No particular one is being determined for that. Whose signatures are required for the bill to become a law? A governor's signatures is required for a bill to become a law. So how long can the legislative council keep the bill with it? If I talk about the ordinary bill, that is 6 months, and if I talk about money bill, that is of 14 days. So what we had discussed down in this video, hope you are clear with that. We started up with the functioning of the government, state government. Here we came to know about the federal system, the state legislature, and further the session that is going on there. Further we came to know about the qualification of MLA. Along with that we had discussed down about the legislative councils. Okay, so further we came to know about the process of bill making. So there are two types of bill. The first one is representing the money bill and the second one is ordinary bill. So in the next video we are going to discuss it further.